Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Okay. Supervisor Moore.
Present.
Oops, my glasses. Councilwoman McNamara.
Present.
Councilman Iacilli.
Present.
Councilman Pell.
Present.
Councilman Sciboni.
Present.
Thank you. All right, thanks for coming, everyone. So today at our work session, we have a representative from the Star Aqua Center to update us, Ms. Joy Flynn. Thank you, Joy.
Good morning.
And since some of us are not intimately familiar with the project, why don't you start from the beginning?
Okay. Good morning, Supervisor Moore, and welcome new council members, Michael Iacilli and Bill Pell, and veteran council members, Cynthia McNamara and Tommy John Sciboni, who is our loyal liaison to the Star Board and to the Town Board. Thank you for placing us on your agenda at such a busy time. I'm Joy Flynn, the newly appointed chair of the Star Board, and the STAR is the Southampton Town Aquatic and Recreation Center, and fondly known as the Star Aqua Center. We're here this morning to acquaint those new board members to the town about this project and to answer any questions that they might have. This may be the first opportunity for some of you to meet us, and we hope this is just the beginning of a long-term relationship to bring a natatorium and fitness center to the Southampton town. These are 2 indoor pools that we're talking about. We are very grateful to the previous town board for providing the 6.3 acres on McGee Street in Southampton and for their public support of our efforts. Board member Jimmy Mack, and he's an ocean lifeguard, an EMT, and many, many other things. And Tim Rumpf, our landscape architect and site planner, are in the audience to help answer any questions that you might have in their particular areas. We're not going to overwhelm you with details, but we have provided these conceptual drawings to help you visualize the 2-pool natatorium and the state-of-the-art fitness center. Judy Roth, our STAR board member and chair of the Outreach Committee, will now review why the town of Southampton needs an indoor aquatic center. Judy?
Okay, thank you, Joy. And again, congratulations to the newly elected members and the existing members, and thank you for inviting us. I'm going to tell you why this Southampton Aquatic Center is so important and will be so important to the town of Southampton. Stating the obvious, we are surrounded by water. We have oceans, ponds, bays, and that is what makes us so desirable and so unique in the area. Having an indoor year-round pool will add to that by some of the following. We will be able to provide swim lessons and drowning prevention classes for school-age children. The CDC says that drowning in the age group of 1 to 4 is the most common cause of death. It's the second leading cause in children ages 5 to 14. Our children... Oh, okay. Thank you. Is that okay? Children need to be waterproofed, and this pool will do that for them. In addition, we'll have a competition pool, and that will provide a place for high school students to compete in teams and to have swim meets and to take part in perhaps getting college scholarships for themselves. And master swimmers will not have to travel to East Hampton or to Riverhead to do the exercise that they love to do. Let's not leave out lifeguard training. Lifeguards are a shortage on the East End and all over the state, and having such a facility will enable lifeguards to train right here, right in their neighborhood, and not have to go all the way to Riverhead as they currently do. And then we will also have an instructional activity pool. That's kind of a more warm water pool, and that will take be the place where the Mommy and Me classes go, a very, very popular activity at the East Hampton Y, and also for seniors, the water aerobics. And if you've ever seen water aerobics, it is for seniors, for people of all ages, but it's a social activity. It's very important for the mental health of the people who use it, and it's also very comfortable exercise. And swimming is one of the most doable and comfortable, wonderful exercises. And last but not least is the distance to other pools from here. People who go to the East Hampton Y from Southampton, it's a good 30-minute drive. And just so you know, the East Hampton Hurricanes won the state champions this year. So high school students can have that. People who go to Riverhead, even from Hampton Bays, it's a 30-minute drive. So, and public schools throughout Suffolk County, many public schools have their own pools. We do not have that in our schools out here. And as Congressman Bishop has said, great communities deserve great facilities. It is time that Southampton had their own indoor aquatic center. And now Elin Rumpf, our Executive Director, will talk to you about our funding sources and general progress. Thank you.
Is this good? Okay. Good morning, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to give you an overview of our project and a status update. Since the town generously dedicated the parcel on 344 McGee Street to our project, our team of architects, landscape architects, designers, engineers, and of course the board of directors have been hard at work on designing a facility that will truly meet the needs of our community. This facility, according to our most recent projections, will cost in the range of $26 to $30 million to build. Projections also show that this project is still financially feasible, and once built, the Star Aqua Center will bring over $1.2 million in new community spending each year. Building a facility like the Star Aqua Center while also raising the funds needed is not a small feat, and it's not without its challenges. The pandemic definitely delayed some of our progress, and over the past couple years, we've also been working to resolve a lot line issue with our parcel. That issue has prevented us from moving forward with the planning process and submitting our site plan application to the planning board. And it has also delayed or impacted some of our fundraising efforts. And I am pleased to say that as of November of last year, that issue has been resolved.
It's important for us to know that this was not, you did not cause this. This was pre-existing on these lots from an earlier initiative that had to be sorted out, and it really delayed things. And I want to thank everyone in here and our legal team, for sorting this out.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
So as of today, we've raised almost $8 million. Most of that come from individual donors, but it also includes a $500,000 grant from New York State. And as we continue to fundraise and explore new funding opportunities, we're also preparing to submit the site plan application to the planning board in the first quarter of this year. And one of our top priorities now is to get to work on a license agreement with the town of Southampton. And we would respectfully ask that the town board pass a resolution to allow the town attorney's office to work with our attorney, Wayne Bruin, to begin work on the licensing agreement between the town and the STAR board. We look forward to collaborating with the town board and with the town attorney's office to finalize this next critical step.
There's no
Thank you.
agreement between the town, with the parties already with respect to that property?
We have that resolution that was passed in December of last year, and we had a draft memorandum of understanding that was never finalized.
And we extended that last
Yes.
year.
Correct.
So the licensing agreement would go into greater detail as to the relationship between your entity and the town of Southampton, and that's not something that was done yet.
Correct.
In part, if I can go on, because of the holdup with the lot line modification and a world pandemic, it really kind of slowed a lot of this down. So,
Okay. Any other questions? Then I'll hand it back over to Joy Flynn.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This afternoon, we're going to be meeting with Assemblyman Fred Thiel at 3 o'clock, trying to elicit more funds from the state. But that doesn't preclude our need to work with you folks to try to help us out as we go forward. We're just enormously grateful for the relationship that we have with the board. And I think I'm pretty clear that this board is supportive of it. And so this is an initial foray into getting to know you better and developing a relationship to make this really happen. Thank you. Do we have any questions for any of us right now?
I mean, I would just like to mention that I do understand that there is a shortage of lifeguards, and this can be a great training center to get folks, especially seniors in high school, to perhaps pick up a summer job or something before entering college. They could train. We can find a way to perhaps create intermediary programs with our youth bureau. Perhaps there can be some partnerships with our existing committees to make sure that we're, utilizing the facilities in a very productive and I think a way that is providing a community benefit. So I'd be really interested in making sure we're, as liaison to the Youth Bureau, that we are working closely to see if we can create that channel, which would be really important. And, as you are, Councilwoman McNamara, as a liaison to seniors, pools and aquatic therapy is actually something very important for a lot of our seniors here in Southampton. And I know that from working with Legislator Fleming. Many called us about getting transportation to East Hampton, and they often weren't able to get to therapy because of, various issues, traffic, lack of transportation services. So I'd love to figure out a way we can make sure we're also linking up with our county senior services and our senior services here so that we make this program available for seniors who might need this kind of therapy.
And I'm glad that you brought it up because I was the assistant director at the Omni, and Barbara Farrell used to teach the arthritis classes in the senior aqua center there. And it was, like you said, it was a social thing, and it was the same women that came in and they would go to lunch afterwards, and it was a whole day.
Yeah.
And then I know there's some of you that swim, daily here, and the winter time it's hard to keep that going, and it's you don't miss just the swimming, you miss the social aspect. And another thing to point out with this is we have, I think, a lack of summer guards in some cases, because if they take a job as a summer lifeguard, there's really nothing for them to fall back on during the school year, and this would employ possibly those students as guards and instructors throughout the year. So
Absolutely.
And additionally, and you're the liaison for the.
Mr. Mack, could you come and speak up? Yes, that way, yeah, it's okay.
Additionally, I just wanted to point out, because it was sort of left out, was that I'm with the ambulance now 20 years. I've been an EMT, and in the first 10 years, we had open water safety classes that we would do at one of our members' home. when she left the ambulance, we stopped doing it. And it's a shame. And you're the liaison with the ambulance,
Actually,
yes?
Tom John Sealand.
Tom John, oh,
We all
also.
care.
Oh, right, yes, right, okay. Yeah, that's right, you came to the ambulance. Yeah, and that is a component that's missing from our training and has been for 10 years now because we have nowhere to go. You know, nobody else. I have a tiny little pool in my backyard. It doesn't count. It wouldn't work for this sort of situation. But it's another thing we could use this specific pool to do to help us.
And
you know.
Barbara used to have an agreement, Barbara Farrell used to have an agreement with Tuckahoe School. And Tuckahoe School, you couldn't graduate from Tuckahoe until you passed the swim test.
Right.
And so those
Right.
students would come in, and there was a lot of underserved kids that didn't know how to swim.
Right.
And if you passed the test or you didn't, and Barbara would work with those students on a weekly basis until they could pass that swim
Right.
test.
Right.
So
It would be nice to see that as a mandatory class in all the schools out here.
We're surrounded
But
by
currently,
water.
we can't do it without this. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Any other questions that you might have at this point?
No, not a question, a comment. You know, as the board probably knows, we have the county has a public pool in Northampton. East Hampton YMCA has one in East Hampton. And so that's, about 35 miles in between. And this is a good location.
And then the Suffolk County Community College has one also.
Right,
now.
in Northampton, yeah.
No, I mean in Spionk, or in that area, right, on the Spionk Riverhead Road?
It is the
New
Riverhead
facility.
campus of
Talk about
Suffolk
the
County
Riverhead
Community College.
Campus, the
Yeah.
Suffolk Community, yes.
I like to go with Northampton, you know.
Oh.
Kind of the area up
That's a
there.
lovely pool, but
Yeah.
it's not provided for high school kids to go and compete. You know.
we couldn't even get our lifeguards to train there 2 years ago
Right.
because we didn't get in quick enough.
And you know what? I'm just wondering, because also veterans would like access to SUNY and CUNY facilities, especially with pools. And I know every year the county legislator always has to work out an agreement with the community college to ensure that, veterans are able to, access a pool for like a low cost. And really, they should be accessing these facilities for free. Are you looking at any funding or grant opportunities that sort of tie into veterans that might be able to provide this type of service for vets who want to use
That's a
the
great idea.
facility?
I don't
Good
know
point.
if Judy's our expert with Elin, and that's how we got our $500,000 grant.
That's
But I
something
don't
to
know
look
how much is
into.
focused on veterans.
And I know there's an assembly bill, I'm sure if you're meeting with Assemblyman Thiel later, there is an assembly bill that is in education. They're looking to make SUNY and CUNY facilities available for vets, but this can be sort of an addition
Fabulous.
to
Thank you.
provide that
Thank you,
service.
thank you, Michael.
Add municipal pools to it.
Mhm.
Thank you. And Ms. Scalera, I didn't acknowledge you in the beginning, I'm so sorry. But thank you for any work you can do to help expedite our license agreement. That would be very helpful.
So you'd like for us to propose a licensing agreement?
I'm sorry?
You'd like for us to propose a licensing agreement? And maybe there's a draft already?
That would
You
be.
said there was a draft MOU, but,
Well, I'll look
We'll
into
look
that. I
into
know
it.
Jim has met with the Department of Health in the county, and they had very good meetings. So he continues to work on that, and we'll certainly do everything we can.
As we've said many, many times, this lot line has really kind of thrown a monkey wrench, so anything that can expedite this license agreement would be very helpful. Thank you.
I noticed on that lot line, the access road to the north, that the configuration of the entrance and exits has changed slightly, and I think for the better, now that there's two, at least on that access road, there's two entrances and exits, or maybe that's a fire road or something. But that looks like a better plan, just from looking at it real quickly here.
Madam Supervisor, board members, Tim Run from Aris Design Council. You'll see that area says site project area. Right there is the area shown here. And what Councilman Scavone was talking about was this access road. Having been involved with this parcel back since 2012, when there was a Tuckahoe project, it was always contemplated in the planning department that this was going to be a right-of-way or some kind of an easement to get to McGee Street. okay? Mr. and Mrs. Mezaneski are the people that are renovating the Roscoe barn, which is on the highway. Their access is opposite here on McGee Street, based on, the planning board's directive. So what we have is showing our access coming in off of this one curb cut into our site here, as well as a secondary access for emergency access for EMTs or fire or anything like that.
Okay, good.
And then this is a subdivision map which is currently in front of the county. And this is that easement which was never completed as part of this lot line modification that the town planning board did
With
2017.
the county.
Yeah, well, it never got to the county.
Oh, okay.
All
Right.
right,
We did it, but the
Right.
county didn't get to
and
the
so
county.
when we filed for our site plan application, the county came back to us and said, well, the lot that you show us doesn't conform with their 1981 tax maps. So we're in the process now of creating this subdivision where this parcel will be added to the Pinot Court piece, which is the restaurant and Southampton motel that's up on the highway.
Do you have that before the planning board now?
No, that, we have an approval resolution already from the planning board,
Okay,
but we don't have a map that's approved by the county.
okay.
So we submitted to the county, and we, Jim Burke coordinated a meeting
Yeah,
with
he
the
met-
with the health department.
yeah, he met with them.
We had a great meeting, and they've been very helpful.
Yeah,
So the Rayner Group has submitted the revisions that they asked for. So we're hoping within a month or two, we can get that done. And then once we get that done, we're gonna come back here. The only sticky wicket with this now is that we're trying to get the ability, an easement from the owner of Pinot Corp, and that's been difficult. So we're kind of working, Wayne has been working with the owner's attorney to try to get that done.
okay.
So that would then allow the motel to exit onto McKee as well?
Right, or any other development
The
which might
all-cross
happen,
Mm-hmm.
which would happen here,
Tim, stay close to the mic, I think.
which will happen there.
Okay.
And an access agreement for this will be included with that subdivision.
Well,
Easement,
that's a
access
separate
easement.
item, the health department really isn't involved with that, but it's between Pinot Corp and the town of Southampton,
Mhm.
Okay,
because of you being the owners of
We
the
would-
parcel.
we would want that, okay.
Right, so that's one of the things that we're gonna need your help to kind of iron out, as well as the licensing agreement. And just to further support that, I think our fundraising efforts, if we get site plan approval and we get the licensing agreement, our donors are gonna look at us, oh, you're starting to get something, and then we can file for a building permit. Once we have a building permit, our fundraising possibilities will
Take off.
expand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're kind of working for, and the other side of it is our attorney is advising us that we really shouldn't spend a lot of money until we have that licensing agreement with the town, because then we know who's responsible for what and how it's gonna work. So we're in a little bit of a conundrum with that as well. So I think the licensing agreement is a big deal, and with your help, we can move forward with that.
And it's Wayne, right? That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we'll
Thank you.
follow up on that. Thank you.
Well, we're nothing if we're not prompted. We promised we would keep this simple.
Oh.
I know you have a very big agenda at 11 o'clock, so thank you very, very much for your time. We know how precious it is, and we're very grateful.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to see you again with the license agreement.
Kara is one of our board members as well.
Oh, wonderful.
Recognize her.
Of course.
Also an employee,
We know,
many years.
a valued employee. Good to see you, Jimmy.
I see you. Yep.
You're up.
All the best, everyone. Thanks. again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
I was to say, wow, we had a one that worked. It's not ours.
All right, well, we are going into executive session to discuss acquisitions, contracts, and personnel, so I'd like a motion to go into
Motion.
executive session and then
Second.
close. Finish. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting
He
adjourned.
loves the sound.